Tonight, latest Q posts and news from around the globe. Hi, I'm Craig and welcome to Just Informed Talk. I want to thank every single person who has come here and hit the subscribe button. You guys are really what make this channel work. Without your input, without your insight, without your incredible in-depth analysis, this channel would be nothing. So thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click the red subscribe button. It's right here. Click the bell for notifications because, as I always say, as soon as the information becomes available to me, I make it available to you. Now, getting into the latest Q posts, let's just look at what we have here. Boom, 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 boom. I know that doesn't mean a lot to most people, but if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that there's cryptic messages implanted in each one of these Q posts, and there's a lot more existing beneath the surface than meets the eye. So let's look at what could be being implicated by these. MB. What does Q use MB for often in these posts? Muslim Brotherhood. Now, who is the Muslim Brotherhood excuse me, who is the Muslim Brotherhood connected to? Ummah Abedin. Who is Ummah Abedin connected to? Hillary Clinton. How does this all co-align? I'm going to explain that. Just recently, we have a story that just broke not too long ago, talking about the Saudis announcing a $10 billion deal working with Cairo. So they have plans to invest around $10 billion in a joint venture with the Egyptian government. Now, why is that important? Well, we have a lot of talks coming up in the Middle East. And I think Trump's trying to stand behind his promise to be the peacekeeper. I think his whole effort from day one has been to bring peace to the Middle East, because that would be one of the greatest check marks he could put into his resume / tenure checklist, I guess you would call it. How is he going to do that? Well, he's apparently, according to a lot of good sources, I've done a lot of research and looked around, and it seems that the purge in Saudi Arabia was based on a few different things, okay? The purge in Saudi Arabia was kind of based on the fact that you had the elite class who were not afraid of subjugation, and they were willing to subjugate the entire population of the country of Saudi Arabia, basically. And what that ended up turning into for them was an uncontrollable, autocratic, dictatorial regime. Now, looking at that from the outside looking in, one can make a few insinuations about how everything is going to be run there. Now, looking at it objectively, all I can say is this. What I've put together is that, and this is my opinion, this is not fact, this is speculative, is that there was a purge in Saudi Arabia, and it was of the elite class princes, affiliates of the royal family, where nepotism, favoritism, and just rampant corruption had become so prevalent that every single person who had a slight affiliation with the royal family was in charge of a country of millions of people. And by being in charge of the country of millions of people, they were able to subjugate them. They were able to make them acquiesce to their rule. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means the hardcore conservative Muslim ideologies that exist, the Now, I know there's moderate Muslims, and I know that there's people out there who may even listen to this channel and be of that persuasion and think, I'm not that way. Well, please come over to our side, find God, bring him into your heart if he's not already there, and you will see that we have a lot more in common than you would ever imagine. So the point being, though, for this is that this is a signal that Trump's agenda has worked. His intention of going to Saudi Arabia, I think what he did was, I've heard a lot of sources, I've done a lot of research. I believe the most likely scenario is that he went to Saudi Arabia, he sat down with the prince, or whoever the king was, Salman, and said, look, I can destroy you tomorrow. You are being propped up by illegal actors in our government who were using their power that was vested in them by the electorate, unfortunately, to do things that would subvert the Constitution and not promote democracy abroad, rather promote authoritarianism abroad. And then that way they could line their own pocketbooks by working with the criminals at large. So this is all pure speculation, but you guys, please, I'm always curious. Please let me know what you think in the comments, because to me, it's like this is a kicking the can around with you guys. I'm telling you what I think, and we can build ideas based off of that. But this is the latest Q post, so we're going to get right into it. Now, there's a project called NEOM. And what is NEOM? Hold on one second. NEOM is a city that's being planned by Saudi Arabia. And it's 10,000 square miles, roughly. It's a city. But I'm going to give you guys the video to kind of explain it to you. So I want you to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
You can look at these ancient hills and see nothing. Or you can see nothing to hold you back. No set ways of thinking, no restrictions, no divisions, no excuses. Just endless potential. This is the blank page you need to write humanity's next chapter. NEOM. Over 25,000 square kilometers of inspiration, with room for your biggest ideas. A part of the world set aside for those who want to change the world.
Yep.
A land created to free people from stress. A place where pioneers and thinkers and doers can exchange ideas and get things done.
Yeah.
A startup the size of a country that will change the way we live and work forever. Healthier, happier, with more time for the things that really matter. A truly global culture.
Healthy, happier, and how we're going to somehow become one family. We'll keep going.
From every place and background you can imagine, that can show the rest of the planet how it's done.
Yeah.
With energy that flows from the sun and wind, neighborhoods that can feed and clean themselves, technologies that make life everything it can be.
Technologies that make life everything it can be. This sounds like how their first transition into merging with machines will go.
This is where we can prepare together for the next era of human progress. Some will look at these ancient hills and see nothing, but the rest of the world will know that this is where a new way of living began.
So it's kind of like that movie Biodome. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's starring Pauly Shore, of all people. It's like a 90s movie. And the whole point is that him and I want to say it's Daniel Baldwin, one of the Baldwin brothers, get locked into a biome project where it's a self-contained atmosphere and ecosystem that they can't get out of for a year. That's what this is going to end up being to me, the NEOM project. But I thought that was funny. I thought I'd bring it to you guys as a part of my content here. But we'll keep moving forward. So there's really something to be said diplomatically for what's going on abroad with the Saudi crown prince turning um, his whole section of insider trading, however you want to categorize these people, um, the ones who were purged in the Saudi purge, the princes who were corrupt, the corruption. Um, but now he's doing things that will benefit the country as a whole and not just keep it so hermetically sealed. I think you look at Saudi Arabia; they've been at a point of complete isolation for a while, and they've been able to contain that because they have their certain set of alliances within the Muslim world, but ultimately they kind of went the route of autocratic, dictatorial kleptocracy. And they did that for a while, and then Trump went over there, and what I think he did was he said some key words to them and said, "Look, I'm very aware of what's going on. I'm very aware of the deception. The deception being what is going on in Riyadh as far as Prince Awalal, who purportedly was held in a Four Seasons hotel for quite some time and possibly had been interrogated by a certain set of interrogators who may or may not have inflicted enough discomfort in order to extract the truth without hurting him because he's fine. He seems to be happy and fine. He's tweeting that he's doing well. Sometimes it's one of those the truth will set you free scenarios. I'm going to leave that on the table for you guys. But his diplomacy is putting this $10 billion into a deal with Cairo. And, there's a lot here, but let's look at it for what it is.
Stop.
I'm sorry for the ad. But there's a lot more here than meets the eye. Now, I want to say there was a part in here that I could quote, but it doesn't look like it's in this article. Probably in this one. Now, cut off Qatar. So this is a plan by Saudi Arabia, and they're moving in conjunction with the United States because they have chosen us. That's why, you see all these rights being reinstated in Saudi Arabia. Women are given the right to drive. I know it's a small step and it doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of people in America who want change immediately. But you got to understand that when you're dealing with other cultures, there is something to be said for diplomacy and understanding that they have values too, and it's not that we're respecting the values that are suppressing people. It's more that we're understanding that it takes time to make cultural change. I'm sure there are people who were in other countries in the 1950s looking at America, questioning our segregation policies, and we said, okay, well, we're working on fixing them, and they take time to fix. If that makes sense to all my viewers out there, which I hope it does, because that's why I hope you guys tune in to me, because I'm going to give you my opinion regardless of what it is. But let's look at this. Now it kind of lays the battle lines of where we're at right now. This is an article out of memory. They're a publication, pretty mediocre, no bad press, no good press. They seem pretty fair, and this reporter seems to cite all of his sources very well. And what they say in here, which is very interesting, is that there is a split in the factions, right? So let's go ahead and read what the split in the factions looks like. I'm going to try to find that where it lists exactly what the division is in this fight. So hold on one second. here we go. So it says, since May 2017, Qatar has been waging a multi-front battle with the Arab Quartet. The camps are clear-cut. In Qatar's corner, there are Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, Turkey, and Iran. Remember that. In the other corner are Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain. Israel has had an interest in strengthening relations with the latter four as allies against Iran. Now, what is this really referring to? It's referring to the Shiite-Sunni split in the Middle East. And who is going to come out as the more moderate faction? Because that's the faction that we want to support. And sometimes it is counterintuitive. You would think that the outwardly moderate faction may be the faction you want to go with, but that is not always the case, as is exemplified here. I read this as saying that there has been a split and a war going on for a long time between two different factions, two different sects, two different ideologies in this Muslim area, the Middle East. You have the Shiites and the Sunnis. Now, both have their religious rights and their freedoms to say they can do what they want, but one outstandingly emphasizes supporting and funding actions that don't coalesce with American values. And I'll give you a hint. It starts with Q. Funny enough. Qatar. Now, Qatar's corner, they have Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, Turkey, and Iran. What's going on in those countries? You have outward resistance to the Trump campaign and the Trump administration and the United States occupation and what we do there to a level that's not been seen before, but is so underreported due to the genius and the guile and the foxiness or the slickness, I guess you would say, of the Trump administration that we don't see this in the news, but this is the war that's being waged secretly because these factions had been given the keys to the castle, basically. You guys, if you guys want to learn more about that, please go back and examine the videos that I posted regarding Abdin. Just the last few videos, the last 2 or 3. You guys will pick up a lot of information there. And I really, my whole hope here, if I could tell you what my wholehearted hope is for this video, is to get you guys in the comments to let me know what you think so that we can develop a broad discussion about what this actually is, because the fact is, at the end of the day, I'd be willing to work with any other countries as long as they were working to actually ensure our security and promote our values worldwide. But when it comes out that these human rights violators and these people who thought they could buy our government want to come and ask for our help, I have no sympathy. You know, if you donated $100 million to the Clinton campaign and you were expecting her to win, and now she lost, and now the will of the American people is actually being followed, there's a mandate, and it's a good mandate of, God, family, and country, that now you're trying to do all these terrible things, which all that's for another video, but I don't even want to laugh. It's sick. You know, the killings, the false flags, if you will. But, you know, you look at it and you say, okay, we are at war. And Trump has, rightfully so, declared war powers for this situation. That's something we need to look at much more seriously. And we're going to get into that in the next few videos. I want you guys to stay tuned, and you guys will be informed. Now, we're going to go through news stories of the week. We're going to go through what's just popping here. We're on Reuters.com, just looking at global news stories. China warns Taiwan it won't tolerate separatist activities. Another power grab by the communists. Trump Netanyahu meeting is a chance to project common front versus Iran. I'm having my doubts about trusting Netanyahu as an individual, but if he's being attacked as Donald Trump is in our media, then I have all the faith in the world that he's really innocent. But I do look at him skeptically, only for the fact that I don't know his politics and I don't know his agenda as well as I do Donald Trump's. But that deserves more research. You guys can let me know what you think about that in the comments. Here's the story we just went over about the Crown Prince who's signed a $10 billion plea with Cairo. This was an interesting story. The Marine Le Pen has decided to push the party to change the name of it from National Front, I think, to a new name. We're going to go ahead and see what that ends up yielding. Now, this was a very interesting story as well. You have a South Korean team that's heading north to bid to bring U.S. Northern Korea to talks. Now, this is basically a set of diplomats from South Korea who are going to go to North Korea in order to lobby on behalf of the United States to open the dialogue to de-armament and a de-escalation of where we're at now. We'll see how that goes. You have a U.S. aircraft carrier arriving in Vietnam. You have China boosting its spending amid military modernization. This is... And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to keep going through all these stories, but I definitely want to say thank you all for watching. Thanks for sticking with me through this whole episode. I hope I can continue to tweak and make this channel better for you based on your inputs. Please let me know what you think in the comments. We're going to go over here and check out Patreon. Yeah, Patreon's great if you guys want to contribute. The first way you can contribute is by coming here and clicking the red subscribe button, because that's the easiest. It's free. You don't have to do anything. That in and of itself is like giving me $1 or $2 just by hitting that subscribe button. You guys don't know how powerful that is. So you hit that, and then you hit the bell for notifications, and then all of a sudden you're in the know. Because as I say every time, as soon as the information becomes available to me, I make it available to you, and that is certainly a benefit to being a part of this channel. But if you want to contribute in another way, you come over here to Patreon, patreon.com. You can click the red button and become a patron. You can go through my goal and my rewards here. You can get an email correspondence, or you can even sponsor an episode. I have some content posted over here too. So let me know what you think. Just hit that red button. You can become a patron. And also, come check out my Twitter. All right, so now, according to QAnon, he wants us to really start a war with memes. And I want to take you guys through what I've done over the last, just few hours, basically, because I've been really taking it seriously. I've been putting up memes, and I hope that they're funny and good. But you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. And if you really want to look at all of them, you can come check out my Twitter page at Justin_formed, or you can search me as Justin Informed Talk on Twitter, and you guys will find me. I'm really doing some cool. I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to post at least 10, 20, 30 memes. I'm going to try and make them and pump them out as quick as I can to get everybody on board for what's about to happen. So you guys can come check those out. I'm not going to go through all of them. I've been doing it all day. So you guys definitely follow me and share my retweet everything, comment. You can like it if you want, tweet it to whoever, and trust me, it's a part of the whole game plan here that we're working on together. So I just want to thank every single one of you for watching. Please, please, please check out the comments because I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to go in and read all my comments. That's like what I get up for every day. Not to say that in a bad way, not to sound bad, but it's literally it's fascinating, it's enthralling, it's you have so many sharp, clever, smart individuals making posts, making comments, and who knows, your comment may get featured in a video. So that's something to look forward to. I want to say thank you all, especially again to everybody who's subscribed. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. That's the simplest way you can support the channel. But we're going to take a second here, as we do at the end of every episode, talk about something that's really important to me. God loves you. God is there for you. You guys out there, some people are lost. You know, some people don't have the love of the Lord in their heart, and that's sad. But understand that God's grace is greater. His love will permeate and stick with you forever. And it opens the door to so many blessings. I can't explain to you how much my life has changed since embracing God and becoming a man of God. And you can become a woman of God or a man of God, but you just have to open your heart. You just have to say a prayer. That's all you have to do. And he will share with you the blessings that you so much deserve, I believe. And I pray for you guys every day. I want the best for you, and I want you to share your thoughts, share your comments, share Bible verses, words of encouragement. The things you guys say in the comments really touch me, and I'm so thankful. And I wish I could respond to each and every one of you, but what I can say is that I read every comment, and anything you guys put in there, I will see, and I want to thank you for putting it there in advance, even if it's criticism, because it makes me better. And I just want to thank you. So that's going to be it for tonight. I want to say thank you for watching. I'm Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. God bless and Godspeed.